Have you ever heard of a murder mystery that has remained unsolved for over a century? Well, get ready to learn about one of the most chilling and captivating cases in American history, the Villisca Axe Murders. On a quiet summer night in 1912, an entire family and their two guests were brutally slain in their home in the small town of Villisca, Iowa. With no clear motive and no known suspect, this case quickly became a national sensation and a haunting mystery that still captivates and terrifies people today. What could drive someone to commit such a heinous crime? And why has the killer never been caught? In this video, we'll take you on a journey through the gruesome crime scene, examine the suspects and theories, and explore the chilling aftermath of the Villisca Axe Murders. The night of the Villisca Axe Murders was a warm summer evening in 1912, and the Moore family, consisting of Josiah and Sarah Moore, their 4 children, and 2 young guests, had returned home from a church event. Little did they know that they would be brutally murdered in their sleep by an unknown assailant with an axe. The crime scene was gruesome, with blood splattered throughout the house and bodies lying in their beds. The killer had covered the victims' faces with cloth after they were killed, and it was clear that they had taken their time to commit the heinous act. The murder weapon, an axe belonging to the family, was found at the scene, leading investigators to believe that the killer had used it to commit the murders. The investigation into the murders involved questioning numerous suspects, but the case remains unsolved to this day. Several individuals were considered prime suspects at the time, including a traveling minister named Reverend George Kelly, who had been in town on the night of the murders. Reverend Kelly was a traveling minister who had a history of mental illness and claimed to have had visions of the murders. He was eventually arrested and charged with the murders, but the evidence against him was circumstantial, and he was eventually acquitted of the crime. Some investigators believe that he may have been coerced into confessing by authorities, who were under pressure to solve the case. Others believe that his erratic behavior and possible involvement in other crimes make him a likely suspect. Other suspects in the case included a state senator named Frank Fernando Jones, who had business ties to the Moore family, and a local businessman named William Mansfield. However, there was not enough evidence to connect either of these men to the crime, and they were never charged. Frank Fernando Jones was a state senator who had a reputation for being a shady character. He had business dealings with Josiah Moore and was rumored to have had an affair with Josiah's wife, Sarah. However, there was not enough evidence to link him to the crime. Some investigators believe that Jones may have hired someone to commit the murders, while others believe that he may have acted alone. William Mansfield was a local businessman who had a history of violence and was known to carry an axe. He also had connections to the Moore family, but there was no concrete evidence linking him to the murders. Some investigators believe that Mansfield may have been a serial killer who was responsible for other murders in the region, while others believe that he may have been hired by someone to commit the Villisca Axe Murders. Despite numerous investigations and attempts to solve the case, the identity of the Villisca Axe murderer remains a mystery. The case has inspired numerous books, documentaries, and even ghost tours of the crime scene, leading some to speculate that the house is haunted by the spirits of the murdered family members. The Moore family home has been preserved as a tourist attraction and is believed by some to be haunted by the spirits of the murder victims. Visitors have reported strange occurrences, such as unexplained footsteps, moving objects, and the sound of children's laughter. Some believe that the house is cursed and that the spirits of the murdered family members are trapped inside, unable to rest until their killer is brought to justice. Despite the passage of over a century, the investigation into the Villisca Axe murders continues to this day. In recent years, modern forensic techniques and DNA testing have been used to re-examine the case, but so far, no new evidence has been uncovered. However, investigators and armchair detectives continue to pore over the case files and explore new theories to finally solve this decades-old mystery. One of the most popular new theories suggests that the killer was a local man named Andy Sawyer, who had a history of mental illness and was known to carry an axe. However, this theory has not been proven, and Sawyer died before he could be questioned by investigators. Other theories suggest that the killer was a drifter passing through town, a jealous lover seeking revenge, or even a member of the Moore family. The Villisca Axe Murders is still unsolved because the killer was never identified or apprehended. The investigation into the murders was hampered by several factors, including lack of forensic technology. In 1912, forensic technology was still in its infancy, and the investigators did not have access to modern investigative tools such as DNA testing, fingerprint analysis, or advanced forensic techniques. The crime scene was compromised by numerous people who had entered the house before the police arrived, including family members, neighbors, and even curiosity seekers. This made it difficult to gather reliable evidence and trace the killer's movements. Although several suspects were questioned during the investigation, there was no conclusive evidence linking any of them to the crime. Many of the suspects were released due to lack of evidence or alibis, while others were cleared of suspicion after their deaths. And one of the most hampered factors for these murders was interference by media. The media coverage of the case was intense and sensationalized, leading to false leads and unfounded rumors. This made it difficult for the investigators to separate fact from fiction and focus on credible evidence. Over time, witnesses and potential suspects passed away, and evidence deteriorated, making it even harder to solve the case. Despite these challenges, the case remains open, and authorities continue to investigate new leads and tips in hopes of solving the mystery of the Villisca Axe Murders. And there you have it, the unsolved mystery of the Villisca Axe Murders. The brutal murders of the Moore family and their two young guests on that fateful night in 1912 continue to intrigue and terrify people to this day. Despite numerous investigations, the case remains unsolved, and the killer's identity remains a mystery. Will the Villisca Axe murderer ever be caught? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching, and be sure to leave your thoughts and theories in the comments below.